The Alchemy of Tattooing, Wisdoms of Ancestor Tattoo, where we explore and revive the ancient understandings and methods of tattooing for transformation, creation, and shifting into a higher vibration through processes so effective that it seems like magic. Or is it indeed the true definition of magic? The Alchemy of Tattooing. Welcome back, everyone. This episode we are going to be talking about energetic imprinting. Energetically imprinting your tattoo, or programming your tattoo. In the last episode we were talking about resonance and how we can design elements into your tattoos to be in resonation with the things they represent. How we can pull beneficial vibrational qualities to us and bring them into our own vibratory field, therefore raising or balancing our own vibration, creating a connection. We talked about how this can be done with things present in our physical world and from the other worlds and the universe, and also our ancestors. I'd like to delve deeper into energy imprinting, infusing energy into the tattoo, programming your tattoo. Energy can be exchanged, transferred, projected, imprinted. Energy can be transmitted and stored. It can be increased, decreased, and transformed. In electromagnetic circles, it is understood we can store electricity or energy in the form of a battery. We can transmit it through power lines or even wirelessly. We can increase it and decrease it. We can transform it from one wavelength frequency to another. So this can be done with all energy. All types of energy can be stored and transmitted and transformed. We talked about the quality of energy. Mental energy, emotional energy, vital life force energy. Vital life force can be stored and transmitted. Mental energy can be stored and transmitted. It can because it's energy. This leads to certain things that were done by great spiritual traditions in the past, and being able to actually store, transmit, transform vital energy, mental energy, emotional energy, spiritual energy. So what's happening here when we are purposefully applying this, either through resonance or through intention, or even through blessings, prayer, ritual, and ceremony? We're purposefully transmitting and imprinting through the power of intention. When we use the power of intention in the form of blessing or through ritual and ceremony, we are intensifying and increasing the power and the quality of that energy being infused. With conscious, focused intention, we are literally programming that tattoo in its shapes and in its lines, with the energies we are purposefully projecting. Like, this is magic. This is how magic works. But this is how science works as well. This is how quantum physics works. This is how the ancients worked in ensuring the tattoo or the sacred item was infused and now holding specific energies. When applying this important energetic exchange to our tattoo while it's being done, while the lines are being laid, we are literally imprinting that energy into not only the consciousness and realm of the shape, but also the pigment used in the lines. Pigment is made up of particles, and then down even further to atoms. We're infusing the energies into the particles and even the vortexes of the atoms. In doing this, the lines themselves are holding that energy and in turn emitting that energy. After this resonance and exchange of energy and information, whether from a specific shape or by energetic intention, a vibrational imprint remains. That imprint is memory. This is true for every energy system. That's why people can do what's called psychometry. A person can go to a place, find a stone there, and they can hold it and receive impressions from the stone of activities that have occurred there before. These vibrational imprints are what we call memory. So psychometry is a psychic ability in which a person can sense or read the history of an object by touching it. This person can receive impressions from an object by holding it in their hands, or alternatively touching it to the forehead. Such impressions can be perceived as images and sounds, smells, tastes, and even emotions. We are energy, and energy is found in living and non-living things. The chair that we are sitting in holds our energy, and the energy we can feel when we sit down can be that of the last person who was sitting in that chair before us. It's like when you enter a room filled with people, you can feel the energy of the crowd. All life forms, including our bodies, are composed of energy fields. Whenever we repeatedly use an object, that object holds the memory and history of those experiences. These energetic imprints or memories can carry any type of information: a location, a feeling, a favourite pastime, a memory, a colour, sound, emotions, even experiences. A person who has psychometric abilities, a psychometrist, can hold an antique glove, for example, and tell something about the history of that glove, the person who owned it, or about the experiences that person had while in possession of the glove. The psychic may be able to sense what the person was like, what they did, or how they died. And perhaps most important, the psychic can sense how the person felt at a particular time. Emotions in particular are most strongly recorded in an object. A psychometrist can tune into the experiential vibrations contained in the object. Psychics can say that the information is conveyed to them through vibrations infused into the objects by emotions and actions in the past. These vibrations are not just a New Age concept, they have a scientific basis as well. In the book The Holographic Universe by Michael Talbot, he says that psychometric abilities suggest that the past is not lost, but still exist in some form accessible to human perception. With the scientific knowledge that all matter on a subatomic level exists essentially as vibrations, that consciousness and reality exists in a kind of hologram that contains a record of the past, present, and future. Psychometrics can tap into that record. So all actions, instead of fading into oblivion, remain recorded and can always be accessed once again. Other psychic researchers say the information about an object's past is recorded in its aura, the field of energy surrounding every object. The connection between psychometry and auras is based on the knowledge that the human mind radiates an aura in all directions and around the entire body, which impresses everything within its orbit, anything that's around it. So, consciously and intentionally directing energies, thoughts, and emotions towards something or into something is what we're bringing into the creation of the tattoo as the lines are being laid. Not only from the tattooist and the receiver of the tattoo, but also from everyone present. Hence, when tattoo was done in the past, there was always ceremony and ritual surrounding the process. Just as it is still done during Māori tattooing, when receiving the mataora or kauai, the facial tattoos, there is an energetic imprinting going on within the ceremony. the blessings, karakia, prayers, waiata, singing, and the acknowledging of the ancestors. All of this is contributing to the energetic vibration of the tattoo and the person receiving it. So we need to keep in mind the environment we're being tattooed in and who is present, what energies are present and floating around. This concept is also connected to beliefs of animism, that all objects possess an inner psychological existence. This enables objects to both receive and transmit impressions to other objects and beings. Your tattoo is an object. On the physical level, it is lines made up of pigment containing particles. On a physical level, there is a physical structure to the tattoo that can hold and transmit the energies imprinted or infused into the lines. Because our bodies and minds emit energy, constantly emitting energetic frequencies, we leave behind a vibrational imprint every time we touch or live in close proximity to an object. These imprints, which may be positive or negative memories, emotions or impressions, can become part of the history of an item. So we need to be aware of what energies we are emitting while laying in the lines and solid pigment of the tattoo we're creating. We are infusing it as we go. I mean, it's pretty obvious that it's a lot more beneficial to be receiving your tattoo from a tattooist who is in a calm, peaceful, creatively meditative state than someone who is angry and swearing away in their head over the conflict they had with their partner that morning. A conscious tattooist can maintain a practice of ensuring a level of positive energetic exchanges occurring during the application of the tattoo. Every now and then, mentally reciting a blessing or positive affirmation, or just being conscious of the beneficial reasons this person is getting the tattoo. The conscious tattooist also needs to be aware of protecting themselves from negative and detrimental energies that could be being released during the process of this kind of healing. We can talk about that subject later, and it's an important one I get asked a lot about. There's been so many times I have listened to someone tell me about their tattoo and that they don't really like it or don't feel comfortable with it. They'll say, I loved the design, that's why I got it. Visually I still like the design, but there's something just not right with it. It doesn't sit well with me. I don't like it. It doesn't feel right. Well, this could be because it doesn't resonate with them. The tattoo is not in correct resonation with them, not in vibrational alignment. I talked about resonation in the last podcast, episode 2, in more detail. But this feeling they are getting from the tattoo could also be because of the vibrational imprint the tattoo is holding. What vibrational energetic imprint was programmed into the tattoo while it was being done? I've heard many stories of this and how the surrounding environment and the people present may have affected the vibration of the tattoo, also the intention at the time, as well as the personal memory of the occasion. Even with us, we can recall interactions with friends and family, partners from the past. These are vibrational imprints. These vibrational imprints will cause a certain energetic reaction. Either you'll feel happy and relaxed, or fearful and stressed. Those interactions have a vibrational imprint on you. One of the powers of karakia, or prayer, or meditation, is that it allows us to connect to the balancing force so that we can transmit this energy. This is intentional vibrational imprinting. Through the power of blessing and prayer or meditation, we can imprint a vibrational energy into the tattoo. We have the capacity to project energy. So everything is energy. This has to include all qualities of energy and not just quantities. Also non-material aspects like mind, emotions, intention, love, hate, sadness, happiness, healing energy, etc. So the intention and energy present during the application of your tattoo is so important. This is why in all ancient traditions of tattooing there were ceremony and ritual surrounding it. Everyone present, family, shamans, elders, and whoever else important to the occasion, were also contributing to the collective intentional energy. Through blessings and prayer, through song and dance, through acknowledging the ancestors, this all was contributing to the infusion. This was purposefully transmitting this beneficial and important connection into the tattoo and the person receiving it. So the linear line in a tattoo contains a movement frozen in space, a line of energy movement. Energy into shape creates a function. Energy is also consciousness. Creating a shape is creating energy, which is creating the consciousness and the design. During the process of creating our work, as we lay the lines, we can also infuse the line and shape and the consciousness of the design with the energy and purpose through the transmission of the energy via intention, prayer or meditation. Whether it be in the particles of pigment in the ink or in the actual line or shape we're creating, through directing intention we are infusing them or programming them with an energy and memory now held within the design. This in turn has given the design a certain vibrational frequency. The space in which the tattoo was done was important. It was cleared energetically and blessed with positive and protective incantations. This was sacred space. The tattoo artist also had one of the most important energetic roles to play, ensuring he or she was in a place of energetic balance, that they were bringing positive balanced intention also, keeping their energetic field clear of negative vibrations and coming from a place of pure intent. The tattoo expert of the tribe or clan had a responsibility to uphold a level of energetic purity and integrity. Tattoo experts of our ancestral cultures were of high status in the community, standing next to chiefs, shamans, spiritual teachers and seers. They were keepers of knowledge, holders of genealogical information, and reciters of important historical events. They were important players in healing and rites of passage initiations. I'll talk more about those concepts later as well. Another way of looking at this energetic imprinting is looking at the work of Dr. Masaru Emoto, the Japanese scientist who revolutionized the idea that our thoughts and intentions impact the physical realm. For over 20 years, he studied the scientific evidence of how the molecular structure in water transforms when it is exposed to human words and thoughts, sounds and intentions. He put out a book called The Hidden Messages in Water. He demonstrated how water exposed to loving, benevolent and compassionate human intention results in aesthetically pleasing physical molecular formations in the water, while water exposed to fearful and negative human intentions resulted in disconnected, disfigured and unpleasant physical molecular formations. He did this through magnetic resonance analysis technology and high-speed photographs, taking photographs of the water's crystals. So he had some bottles of water wrapped with written notes, with the writing facing inside the bottle that said things like thank you, or I love you, happy, and just other positive messages. This was done in various languages. No matter what language was used, the water in the bottles, when frozen, created complete crystals that were beautifully perfect. On the other hand, water that was exposed to negative expressions like you fool or I hate you created incomplete deformed crystals. By exposing water to particular words or a piece of music and then freezing it and photographing the ice crystals formed, he had shown that from beautiful words and music come beautiful crystals, and from mean-spirited negative words come deformed and misshapen crystals. Water over which a priest prayed with love and gratitude created the same type of beautiful, perfect crystals. His research also showed us that how polluted and toxic water, when exposed to prayer and intention, can be altered and restored to beautifully formed geometric crystals found in clean, healthy water. This is similar to the process we can use to transform a negatively imprinted tattoo into one that has more beneficial qualities and resonance. Depending on the tattoo and the design and circumstances involved in why the tattoo isn't in alignment or resonation, or the certain energetic imprinting it carries, it can be possible to clear and reprogram the tattoo. There are processes and steps that can be taken to tweak and shift the energies contained in the design, to clear it out and reprogram the information or frequency it holds. So if water is affected by words, intentions and energies, what about human beings? We are mostly made up of water. What about the ink we use? The ink we use is a whole other category of importance in itself. There are many things that we can do and processes we can perform to ensure the ink we are using holds a beneficial vibration. The first time I had this done properly through a comprehensive process was some years back, when a very special person who understood energetic imprinting and the ways of transmitting and infusing beneficial vibrations spent 2 weeks putting the ink through a number of processes, using sound healing techniques, sound frequency infusion, crystal grids, color therapy infusion, meditation, blessings, sacred geometry, exposing the ink to positive word expressions, and a number of other beneficial energetic transmissions. After this process was complete, we tested the original ink I was using compared to the energetically imprinted ink. The results showed a vast difference in energetic vibration. The treated ink was of such a higher healing beneficial vibrational frequency than the untreated ink. In any case, these examples I've just mentioned show us the power of directing intention and that vibrational imprinting is real. This is a technology that, through the power of intention, ritual and ceremony, we can energetically imprint our tattoos with the desired energies and vibrational purposes we want to carry and be in resonance and alignment with, empowering our tattoos, programming them energetically. Our ancestors would use this technology to empower their tattoos and their weapons and their shields. This is where we hear in the myths and legends, our ancient historical accounts of them possessing magical weapons. Their swords or shields possessed magical abilities. This is because they understood and used the power of shapes and symbols together with the power of also infusing them with the energies required to enhance the purposes of the item. For example, the Celts and the Vikings, on their shields, protection symbols were placed. These symbols in themselves possessed and emitted protective energies. then they would use ritual and ceremony to further imprint and infuse defensive and protective energies into the symbols and into the shield itself. This was also applied to their bodies as well. Their tattoos were used in the same way to embody protection and increase their abilities and power. These were powerful forms of magic, powerful forms of technology. So when I talk about technology and technologies, I'm not just talking about or referring to the external scientific technologies that are in our society today. Some of the technologies of today are an attempt to replicate in the outside world what we already possess within us. When I talk about the technologies of the ancients, I'm referring to, in this case anyway, the technologies within us, our abilities. Our ancients' ancestors were far more advanced in our inner technologies, especially things like manifestation, healing, divination, telepathy, levitation, magic, and so on. Over millennia, we've lost these abilities. Well, not lost them, but without practice, they have become dormant within us. And now the scientific world has for a long time been trying to invent and develop external machines and devices to replicate the exact things we could all do within ourselves. We as highly developed biological machines contain unimaginable technologies and abilities that we now no longer are aware of or taught how to master and use. So, back to what we are doing here with energetically imprinting our tattoos and applying the other processes I've spoken about in the other podcasts, the vibration of shapes and symbols, vibrational resonance and the concepts surrounding these processes and what that facilitates. I'd like to share with you something I experienced personally during the ancient Egyptian teachings I was attending. When you experience things like this and see how it works with your own eyes, in your own hands, it really hammers home what an amazing process this is. So my teacher handed me some paper, some plain white blank paper and some coloured paper. So some red paper, some blue paper and some yellow paper. Now, he had a tool that can detect and measure the frequencies of colour. Colour has a frequency. Each colour has its own frequency. So we set this tool to the setting to pick up the colour frequency of red. It was set to detect the frequency of red. Now, when I held the tool over the piece of the red piece of paper, it was activated and showed it was picking up or detecting the frequency of red. Then I held it over the blank colourless piece of paper and it didn't respond. Nothing happened. It wasn't picking up anything. It wasn't detecting the frequency of red. Then he asked me to hold the blank piece of paper between my hands and focus on making it red. Like project the colour red onto the paper. With intention, make the blank piece of paper red. Believe it is red. Turn it red. So I sat there for about 10 minutes projecting the colour red onto this piece of paper, totally envisioning it as red. The piece of paper between my hands is red. The colour red. Well, after a while of doing this, I put the piece of paper down. It still looked white, but when we tested it again with the colour frequency tool, it activated. It was detecting red. It was picking up the frequency of the colour red. We did a similar process with projecting and imprinting a blessing or prayer or the energy of love into a blank piece of paper. My teacher also had another tool that could detect healing energy or the beneficial centering energy frequencies present in nature. When something is emitting a healing frequency, this tool could detect it and show the strength of that energy. So I did the same process as before with the colour frequency, but this time I was projecting and intentionally imprinting a blank piece of paper with a karakia and blessing. I did this for another 10 minutes, then placed the piece of paper on the table. So before I intentionally infused the piece of paper with a loving blessing, when nothing had been done to it, we had tested it with the tool and it detected nothing. But now that I had imprinted it with loving blessing energy, when we tested it, the tool detected this healing frequency and reacted. So this was something quite amazing to witness. I mean, I always knew this was real and knew it was absolutely possible, but it was just really interesting. It was just a really interesting way to witness it, and with actions and real-time visual evidence. Later, I talked to the teacher of this ancient Egyptian knowledge. I pulled him aside after class one evening, and I explained to him what I was wanting to bring to the work I was doing as a tattoo artist. I explained I had been on a huge journey of seeking and discovering and learning the multi-levels I could see involved in this understanding. When I explained I wanted to bring these understandings and processes into the application of tattoos onto people, he looked up at me with the serious but excited, wide-eyed look on his face and said, "You've had the calling. Your purpose is to assist in bringing these workings back into the world. Humanity and the earth need this." He then said a name of a certain sect of people from way back and translated it. He translated it into the Earth Wizards. That was the closest translation in English. And what they did was assist in bringing humans back into alignment with the earth and the universe, and at the same time protecting them against the detrimental energies that can affect humans. He said the Earth Wizards are in need of returning in this time. It is now this is so important. What this work will do will assist in bringing the Earth Wizards back and assist in bringing humans back into alignment, while also protecting them from the detrimental energies present all over the world now. Humans need to be brought back into awareness and alignment with nature and the earth. These processes will assist in this. This needs to be shared. So that kind of brought some more perspective into this journey and brought to light the importance of what we can do to come into vibrational resonance with nature and earth after being separated from it over time. Also our ancestors. So I keep asking, what am I in resonation with? What am I wanting to resonate with? What do I want to be in alignment with? What are we in alignment with? Are we consciously moving through this world aware of what we are bringing into alignment? Are we intentionally aware of what we are resonating with? There's a lot of things out there in the world today that are trying to pull us into resonation, and they're not always good or beneficial. Some are very detrimental and damaging and destructive. Advertising, news, media, these are also techniques and forms of resonation. These companies and agencies understand the laws of resonation and symbolism, but use them in a way to manipulate and control. This is not used for the collective good or uplifting and enlightening, indeed quite the opposite. This is not what I would call magic, but falls more into the category of sorcery. Addictions, alcohol, foods, drugs, social media, toxic belief systems to create confusion and division. They are consciously lowering our vibrational frequencies. The powers that be, or should I say, the powers that shouldn't be, use this to keep us out of resonation and alignment with what we should be in alignment with, such as nature, the earth, the universe, and our higher selves, and our ancestors. Instead, they are subconsciously pulling us into alignment with their detrimental energies and vibrations. We need to protect ourselves from this. Are we taking charge of what we are in alignment with? Do we have a vision of what we want our world and our lives to look like now and into the future? Are we collectively on the same page with this? Because the more people and numbers involved in vibrational imprinting, the more effective it is. Do we have an overall collective plan of how the future looks, how the future will be? Healed, not sick. Creative, not destructive. Happy, not sad and angry. The elites, or powers that shouldn't be, they have a plan. They have an agenda and a vision of their desired future, and are actively creating it around us. They understand these esoteric knowledges and have been applying them for a long, long time now. We have access to the same tools, and we have many, many ways of applying them to shift and create the desired energetic vibration we want to exist in. They have a vision. What we need to ask ourselves is, do we? Do we have a vision, an agenda, a collective vision of what we want the future and the world to look like? Are we in resonation with that vision? Are we in intentional creation with that? Are we vibrationally imprinting that vision and purpose into whatever we do and touch and think and say? They have an agenda. We need to make sure and confirm we have an agenda. Collectively, we outnumber them almost infinitely. They are only a few. But when they're bringing the unaware masses into vibrational frequency with them, they become, in a proxy way, many. We need to ensure we are taking conscious control of our vibration and what we resonate with. Are we coming together as individuals energetically and embracing the vibrational resonance, the vibrational imprint? Are we programming our intended future? And, what we do now affects the future. It is the future. A really powerful way to initiate this is to start bringing ourselves individually into alignment and resonating with the beneficial energies of this world and universe, raising our vibration. And the way I see it, and I understand the ancients saw it, is that tattooing provides one of the steps to embracing this and assisting us in raising our vibration. By applying protective symbols, patterns, and designs that neutralize detrimental energies, by applying tattoos and utilizing the beneficial processes and methods and shapes within our tattoos when receiving and wearing them, we are bringing ourselves into resonation with our desired purposes. We should be aware of what we are receiving when we're getting tattooed. What are these patterns and symbols emitting? What are they in resonation with? What frequencies are these markings pulling towards me? And what vibrational energies are they assisting me with? Are they raising my frequency? We need to be aware of what energies are being imprinted into our tattoos. What are they being programmed with? What story do they hold and tell? What intention do they have? Are these markings in alignment with me? Do I resonate with these markings? What are the purposes and energies and am I projecting? And what am I receiving? With the assistance of being consciously tattooed this way, utilizing these processes and methods, we can activate our higher abilities, bring ourselves into balance with the earth and the universe, bring ourselves into resonation with the healing and beneficial energies of the universe, bring ourselves into resonation with our well ancestors. We have the power and the biological technology within us. We just need to become aware of that technology and turn it on. It's been asleep within us for so long. It has been ignored as an ability. For generations, we have been steered away from the knowledge and awareness that we possess this powerful capability. Imagine being aware that everything you touch, project energy to, surround yourself with, can be imprinted with positive beneficial vibrational frequencies. Whether it's intentionally done or just occurring because we are vibrationally at a higher frequency that naturally affects the energy systems around us, by raising your frequency, you are actively raising the frequencies of the energy systems you come into contact with, and further on a collective consciousness level. By actively rising above the detrimental energies surrounding us and projected at us, we are literally assisting in altering and shifting the vibrational frequencies of the world into a more healed condition. We are also raising ourselves above the detrimental programming we are subject to all around us. By raising our frequency and therefore raising our consciousness, we are awoken to the patterns and programs that keep us from connecting and understanding our inner selves and our higher state selves, our innate abilities to manifest and heal and create the very existence we need to thrive in. I think about the trees. Our ancestors of all cultures had a reverence of the trees and understood their importance and connection to them, and the connections to nature. The trees, they utilize the detrimental elements and transform them into beneficial oxygen, sending out and emitting life-providing healing oxygen. We ourselves as humans have an energy system that can emit beneficial healing frequencies, and these are enhanced by what we are in resonation with. When we are in resonation with nature, we are receiving beneficial frequencies, and vice versa. Imagine coming to the aid of the trees and joining them in the mission to heal and assist the planet. Imagine if we all woke up and did it. Another 7.8 billion beings coming to the assistance of the trees, joining forces with them to help heal this planet, our mother. We can actively replace what we have taken away, fill that gap. We have the benefit of mobility, and we bring our vibration wherever we go. We remember that our ancestors didn't just live in harmony with the environment. They expressed their harmony of the environment in their everyday actions. They were nature. Back then, our ancestors' actions supported the natural harmony of the earth. So this is why we need to see and understand what tattooing can bring and do and assist us with. Not only are we bringing healing and balance within ourselves, but also on a larger scale, a planetary scale, and on a cosmic scale. As above, so below. As within, so without. The universal truth.